Hi, welcome back to the Jokes by Jay podcast. I'm very excited, as usual, about tonight's episode because I'm in sweatpants with no makeup on. As you can see, the shine. I don't care. I actually don't care. For those of you who have never seen this, I apologize. For those of you who have, you know that I'm capable of looking better. It's been an interesting week. Let's just start with today. So, today was actually great. I had a spa day today, which I don't normally do. And I booked it 2 months ago. It was a Christmas gift certificate I had to a spa called Burke Williams. If you follow me on Instagram, I post a little story walking into the place. They don't let you use your phone inside, so whatever. And I was like, let's see how this goes. Like, am I truly busy or do I just like, is it me? Am I the problem? Am I just always on my phone because I work a lot? And is that thing? So I was like, okay, I'm going to put the phone in the locker. I'm not looking at the phone. I'm just going to like be off the grid for the next few hours. It was lovely. Let me tell you what I did. I went into a hot tub and there was like nobody there when I got there, which was great. I went into the hot tub. I then got out. I went into the steam room. I had like a cold rag on my face. I couldn't fucking breathe. There was like eucalyptus mist. I couldn't see anything. It was lovely. Then I had an 80-minute massage, which I don't think I've ever had in my life. The massages I've had are like an hour or 50 minutes or whatever. Then I had about 10 minutes in between that and my next service, which was time to like eat a banana because I was starving. Because I went at like 10 a.m. like an idiot. So I had like breakfast and I was there all day. And I got called in for my 50-minute facial with a vitamin C peel. And I didn't really want to put makeup on because I'm all like glowy, shiny, whatever. I'm going to say it's a glow. And I'm like cozy. And I've just been like this all day. I'm in the same outfit. Usually when I do my podcast, I'm like, okay, I have to do my hair. I have to do my makeup. And tonight I was like, you know what? This is just going to be real J time. Like this is my look on the weekends. I'm sorry. It's also going to be Super Bowl Sunday when this airs. So I don't know who's rooting for who. I have no idea. I only know, actually forgot. I know that the Chiefs are playing someone else and I can't remember. And my sister's a big Chiefs fan. We're having a few people over tomorrow. I'll probably still be like this. And and then I did a crazy thing today, which I haven't done in, I actually cannot tell you how long, but I exercised. I have a workout mirror. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the mirror. Lululemon bought them, but you can do like workouts on this thing. And there's someone in front of you, like in the mirror doing them. So you can also see yourself in the mirror and make sure that you're doing it right. I did a little Pilates video because I used to love Pilates back when I, looked like different. And so I did one and it was great and I'm tired. And then after that, I was like, I have to do my podcast. Got to go take a shower. No, I'm not going to take a shower. It was a 15-minute Pilates class. It's not like I was even sweating, let's be honest. So here we are. Here we are in my sweatsuit that my mom bought me, which if you couldn't tell, because of the eyes, there's one on the back of the sweatshirt also. And we bought matching ones. I should have saved this and worn it together with her matching whenever she comes as a guest. But we had a couple of guests on so far. If you guys have been like keeping track, we had my sister and we had my very good friend, celebrity hair and makeup artist, Igor Sinive, which was very fun. And today I'm just doing it solo. I got my cozy blanket here in case we just want to get cozy and snuggle. We're not going to do that. But yeah, and we have like upcoming, my mom's going to be on at some point whenever she can get her shit together and come here and promise me not to wear sunglasses while we shoot. And my best friend, Lindsay's going to come on and I want to have a lot of other people on, but that'll be fun. So I want you guys to like leave in the comments if you like seeing a guest, if you like it. Should I just do this where I switch off and, like sometimes I'm by myself, sometimes I have a guest. My other best bud, Romina's back in town. So she'll be doing this with me soon, I hope. I'm going to talk to her about that tomorrow, actually. And yeah, so it's going well. I like it. I'm having fun. I'm not concerned about like, being a big deal or it's funny. Like with TikTok, I really wanted to grow that audience. And I was like, I got on this kick of like being obsessed with like the views and the this and that. And this is not really that for me. Like this is more of like an outlet for me to be like, I don't know, for me to vent, be funny, share stories. Like I feel like, there are people that are listening. I know that there's definitely a couple people that are listening and watching. And I don't know, maybe you guys, it's like a little escape for you to hear it. I don't know. I do listen to this also in the car on my way to work. I'll listen to the podcast. And, more often than not, I'm like, okay, that was all right. So, but I do read the comments. I do check the views. I'm not going to lie. I do. I'm not like a lunatic about it like I was with TikTok, but I'm definitely like going on and checking. What else is happening? Crazy. I've had a crazy week. Mostly in a good way. Like obviously the spa was great, couple of, little snags. Both my kids, had a really bad cold, and this was my first experience having two sick kids. And it's rough when you have a sick kid that's a baby because they can't tell you what's wrong. They can't tell you what hurts. They don't, so like my son, he's so cute and he's always so happy. And he'd like cough and then he'd like bury his head in my chest and like put his head down and like be like, I'm like, I don't know, does your cough hurt? Like, I don't know what. It was very sad. I took them both to the doctor. They're fine. They just have a cold. But I got, worried that it was going on for too long because I think my daughter has had this cold for like 2 weeks and then she gets this lingering cough that goes on for days. And anyway, everyone's fine. It's fine. And then something really cool happened, which I'm going to share. And I'm the queen of like, I'm not going to tell anyone this until it's like done. And then I tell like just like 27 of my closest friends and I'm like, don't tell anyone. This is one of those things. So, my husband and I have rented the house that we live in now for May will be 9 years. And we love it. It's fine. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's great. But over the last few years, we've both like, first of all, when we moved in here, we had no kids. My sister was living with us at first, and she left when my daughter was born. And it was perfect. We had a guest room still, and, that was great. And then we had my son, and that guest room became his room. And so we don't want to, we have very, very good rent here, like very good rent here compared to most people in a similar house or, whatever in the area, even across the street from us. I think they pay more than double what we pay. Like our rent is very good. And so we kind of decided like, all right, we're just going to stay here for the next couple of years until we can buy a house. Cause why would we move? Like that would be so stupid, and pay a higher rent somewhere when we could just save that money and buy a house one day. So about, I want to say, it was like early November. So this is a couple months ago, right? A friend. So, okay, let me just back up a second so you have a full story and you understand the impact of the situation. My daughter goes to a private school that's about a 20-minute drive from here. Okay. So in the morning, and I work in Beverly Hills, which I've talked about this before, but it takes me almost an hour to get to work with traffic. With no traffic, it's about 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. So my daughter goes to the school, and what was happening before I had my son was I would drive her to school. So I'd drive 20 minutes. I'd come back to go to Beverly Hills, which I have to pass. I literally pass my house. Like I could see my house coming back through to go back to work. By the time I get back to the house to pass by to go to Beverly Hills, I've been in the car for an hour. And I have another hour to get to work. So it's 2 hours in the morning in the car. Now, I actually love driving, but no one loves driving that much. After a while, that gets old, right? And I said, look, she's 6. We're going to be going to this school till she graduates. Then we have my son. He's going to go to that school. So we got at least, like 17 more years from right now of this commute. I don't want to do this. And we need to be closer. The trouble is that there are some surrounding towns that are closer that aren't towns that my husband wants to live in, or maybe even necessarily that I do, right? Like it would only be worth it if we could get a house that's in like this small pocket of houses that are walking distance to the school. Because there's some really great houses that are walking distance. And a lot of my friends and my, that are moms that have kids that are friends with my daughter live there. And so that would be so nice, right? So early November-ish happens. And a friend of mine posts her house on like the school's Facebook group of like, she wants to rent it out because they're moving. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. And it is walking distance to the school, and it's a gorgeous house, right? So I talked to my husband. I'm like, we might want to do this. And maybe she's interested in selling it one day. Like maybe we could eventually buy it from her when we're ready in a year or two. We're not ready right now, but a year or two will give us enough time to save up enough money for a down payment and do all this like grown up stuff, right? So I contact her. I go see it the next morning after drop off at school. And I've been there once before. I'm like, I know I love this house, right? So I love it. And she tells me like, look, we had it like posted for sale for like 6 weeks, but no one was buying it, blah, blah, blah. But we actually got an offer on it like last night or this morning or whatever. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Well, I can't compete with that, right? Let me know what happens. I have no experience at this point with buying a house or even renting nowadays because I've been here for 8.5 years, right? So get through all that. We don't move there, obviously. She sells the house. I'm super, super, super bummed about it when it happens. Like super bummed, right? Because I'm like, damn it. Like I kind of got my hopes up. And when, like I'm sure everyone who's listening to this can relate in some way of like when you want something and you get super, super excited about it and then you don't get it, it's a bummer, right? It's like, so anyway, I was bummed. I got over it. And then it's kind of sparked something in me of like, I want to start looking for a house. Right. And I start looking and we find another house in another town, but it's still like a 15-minute drive to school, but it's a beautiful house. It's like 5 bedrooms. I'm like, oh my God, this would be great. Right. And get super excited about that. Now, usually you find out in a couple of days whether or not you get a house. If there's other people applying, renting, I'm talking about renting. This is all new to me, by the way. This is how it is now. I'm dealing with realtors. I'm not dealing with like the owner like I used to 9 years ago. And within a couple days, you find out like, did they pick you? Did they pick another family? What are they doing? There's a spider on the wall and I'm freaking out. I'm sorry. There's a spider. There's a spider on the wall. Oh, shit. Okay. That's distracting. He's not going to come over here. It's going to be fine. So I'll keep you guys posted on his location unless I look over and I can't see him, in which case that's going to be really effed up. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. There's a spider. I don't know if I should call my husband. He's in the next room watching a fight and he's screaming at the TV. He's whisper screaming because the kids are sleeping. He's like, oh, yeah, get it. And I'm like, can you just know that there's like your daughter's asleep 100 feet away from you? I need you to calm down. I don't see the spider anymore, which is really, hang on. Okay. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I'm going to continue. So I'm dealing with realtors. I have no idea what that's like. And it should take a few days. And I know this because my best friend Lindsay has rented homes through realtors. And she's telling me like, yeah, normally it takes a couple days, whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. So she's kind of telling me what's normal and what I can expect. The spider is just on the run. He's on the run. He's running across the wall. I don't know where. He's coming closer to where I am. So this might be a vicious episode that ends in death of either me or the spider. I don't know. Anyway, so, okay. So this other house, 5 bedroom, I'm really excited about it. I'm in touch with a realtor and I'm also like, obviously, because I'm doing this even, but like, for those of you who don't know me really well, like I communicate to a fault. Like I will text paragraphs and paragraphs. If I don't hear back from you within usually I'm like, okay, within a 24-hour period. After that, I start to go like, what is going on? But within a few hours, I also always have my phone because I need it for work. Patients text me at the dental office. My boss, calls or text. Like I always have to have my phone. So I'm not an idiot. Like I know not everyone is like that, but they should be. Anyway, so, this house and me talking to this realtor goes on for literally 2 weeks. Like I could have bought a house and found out that I wasn't going to close on it and not gotten the house or gotten the house either way in the same time period, only to find out that they chose a different family. I was like, are you effing kidding me? Right? So I'm like, fine, whatever. And then I go like, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? The whole purpose was to find something walking distance to the school. So why am I like going off the beaten path here and like just on this weird, like, let me just get any house, right? So I'm like, okay, let me reel it in. I calm down. We look at a few other homes and then we decide, let's stop this. Let's just stay where we are for the next year or two as planned until we can buy something. That's it. That's what we're doing. So we totally end off on it. We don't deal with that or entertain that anymore. Okay? Great. So last Monday, which is Saturday, as I post these podcasts on Sunday mornings, but I shoot them usually on Saturday night. So it's Saturday night right now. So on Monday, there's an app called Zillow, which is all like rentals and stuff like that. And I had it set to save a search in that area. And so I get notifications from time to time, and I've been ignoring them because I'm like, whatever, I'm not doing that, right? I'm staying where I am. But Monday around like 11 a.m., I'm at work and I get a notification on my phone and it says there's a house for rent, but something about the name of the street looks familiar to me. So I go, I'm going to click on this. So I click on it and I open it up and I'm looking at it. And the house is like the most beautiful house I've seen yet in this search since November of on and off, like looking at homes, right? It is really nice. The rent is very high, but it's beautiful. And the reason the street looks familiar is because it's on the same street as that very first house that the friend of mine sold. So it's walking distance to the school. So I'm like, oh my God. So I fill out like request application. Then I say, screw it. And I call the realtor that's representing the property. And she's so sweet. She answers the phone right away. I explained to her. She's like, oh my God, I was just about to call you because I saw your multiple like inquiries. Like, oh, hit all the buttons. And so her and I chat. I explained to her our situation and we make an appointment for us to see the house the next morning, which was Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, my husband drops off my daughter at school. Once Alex gets here, the nanny, I leave. I go to meet him there. We see the house at 9:30. It is ridiculous. It's so nice. It's 4 bedrooms. It's huge. And also, by the way, like my husband and I are homebodies. Like we don't really go out. We entertain a lot for the holidays at our house, right? Thanksgiving, Christmas, any family member's birthday. We're doing a Super Bowl thing tomorrow. Like we do that a lot. So for us, it is important that like, we have a nice house. Like it should be a nice house, a nice living space. Like it's worth it for us maybe to spend a little bit more than most people would who go out a lot or are never home because we're home all the time when we're not working. So I love it. And I say to the realtor, listen, I actually we need to figure this out and we want to live here. So what do we need to do? So we go all the way through. That's Tuesday. Then Wednesday goes by. I send everything that I need to send, which renting a house now is almost like buying a house. You got to send taxes. You got to send bada boops, applications, more bada boops, W-2. I mean, it's very intense. So I send all of that. I even send a letter about our family with a picture of us because I'm dealing with a realtor, which is lovely, but I don't know the owners. They'd have never met me and they're choosing strangers to live in their home. So I'm like, that must be rough for them. Like they should know who we are, right? So I do that. And then that's Wednesday. So Thursday, I'm driving home. Now, a little piece of information that you're going to need to know for part of the story later is that it's a very nice family. They have 2 daughters. The husband and wife have 2 daughters that are older, like they're not kids, right? But they live in the house and the parents travel a lot and it's just too much house for the 2 girls. So the plan is that the daughters are going to find a new place to live and they're going to rent out their house. And they did tell the realtor that maybe in a year or 2 or whatever, they would look at selling the house. I'm like, this is perfect. Like, because I could live in this house for the next 20 years. Like, it's perfect, right? So I show my boss because I tell my boss everything. And he's also like a genius when it comes to like money and buying homes and all that stuff. And he's like, this is a house. Like, this is awesome. Like, and he has not responded like that to any of the other places I've shown him. So we're super excited. And I'm super excited. And so Thursday, she's been in touch with them, but obviously there's a time difference if they're in another country. And so Thursday, I'm driving home from work and she tells me she's going to call me soon. And I said, okay, I'm available for about the next 10 minutes because I was about 10 minutes away from my house. And then I have to put my son to bed. So I'll be available like after 7:15 or whatever I said. So she calls me and hi, how are you? Great. Yeah, I had a really busy day. But boop. She says, so I wanted to call you with some good news. And I literally start crying. Like, I'm so sorry. This has been very emotional 48 hours. Like, I'm like so happy. Right. And I'm like, okay, so what's next? Like, what do we do? How do I give you guys the deposit? Like, I want to legitimately make it ours. Right. Take it off Zillow. Right. And she's like, okay, well, tomorrow the girls, like the daughters, are going to go house hunting basically. And so obviously they need to find something I mean, she didn't say this word for word, but the idea is that they need to find something so that we have a move-in date, right? And she's like, you have to give your landlords 30 days, right? I'm like, yeah, I haven't said anything to them. I don't have any problem with having like 2 places to live for 2 weeks. Like, let's say I say March 15th to the landlords, by February 15th, and I move into that place on March 1st. That's actually okay with me because then I can have both, like I could take my time moving things over and not try to slam it into a weekend. I've also I've moved 22 times. I have never moved with kids. So that's going to be a totally new thing for me. So anyway, I'm super excited. I'm like, okay, these girls have to find a place. Great. And then she's like, I'm going to be in touch with you tomorrow. So that would have been on Thursday because this was this was Wednesday. Sorry, I thought it was Thursday. This was actually Wednesday evening on the way home. Thursday, she's like, I'm going to check in with them at the end of the day and let you know how it's going. I'm like, okay. I didn't hear anything back. And then yesterday, which was Friday, I texted her and I was like, hey, I don't want to be a pest, just checking in. And I haven't heard anything back. And now it's the weekend and I don't want to text her on the weekend because it's the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So, when I said to her on the phone, I was like, I just want to make sure, like, is this official? So I can like tell my husband. She's like, it's official. Congratulations. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. So I'm super excited. So I tell my, 27 closest friends, not to tell anybody. And I said to my husband today, I was like, do you think I should text her again? Like, I don't. He's like, babe, there's no reason to text her. There's no reason to even call, nothing until like she's going to let you know when the girls find a place. I'm like, I know, but it's like still listed, which I get it has to be. Like I said to my boss, I was like, can't I just give them the deposit to hold it? He's like, you can't really do that because they need the lease to state the deposit amount and the move-in date. And you don't know the move-in date because we don't know yet, right? Until these girls get a place. So basically what I'm saying is that I need you guys flow me some positive thoughts and energy that these girls find a place to live like immediately, like on Monday. They find something this weekend and on Monday she calls me and she's like, they got a place. They're moving in March 1st. Da, da, da. Oh, so the coolest thing, so please do that. Thank you. Love you. The coolest thing is that the place comes with furniture, which they have it decorated beautifully, right? And so whatever furniture I would like them to keep, they're going to keep there, which is basically most of like the common areas because the bedrooms are really the only furniture that I said that they should take because, we have our own stuff and my husband and I are, we're going to actually get a new bed frame. That's important because I have another story to tell you after this. But my kids are going to keep their their furniture. Like my son has a crib. Anyway, doesn't matter. So that's that. Okay. So they have the furniture. The girls are finding a place that needs to happen. So I start taking pictures of furniture here that I need to, get rid of because I'm not going to obviously have to sell stuff. Right. And I'm like, okay. So I start doing that the other day and I'm like, I'll start posting it on Facebook Marketplace because by the way, also I have no goddamn luck with that. I'd post something and it never sells or someone contacts me right away. If more than like 24 to 48 hours go by and I hear nothing, I'm not selling that item. I should just don't even worry about it. And I'm going to have a yard sale and I'm like, I should probably have a walk-through yard sale because some of it's huge furniture I can't bring out into the front yard, So yesterday, again, Friday, I post my, my bed frame, which is this beautiful beige, like tufted bed frame with like silver grommets. It's obviously used, but it's like new condition. No damages or anything, right? So I posted on the thing and this is important. So I posted for $400. Okay. And I get someone who reaches out to me and they're like, is your bed frame still available? I'm like, yes. They're like, okay. They're like, any damages? I'm like, nope. It's in pretty, there's no damages. It's used, but it's like in really good condition and there's nothing wrong with it. And they're like, okay. Can you send me your Zelle and your address and a time that my brother can come pick it up for me? I'm like, sure. So I talked to Clark, my husband, and we figure the weekend is actually better for this. Let them come on the weekend. We give them a time frame to come. So she goes, okay, great. What's your Zelle? Now I have like a few different accounts and I don't know what the thing for Zelle is. So I go check and I'm like, okay, good. It's this email address. So she's like, okay. So she's like, can you mark it sold? I'm like, sure. Once I get the payment, I'll mark it sold. So she's like, okay, I just sent the payment. I'm like, okay. So I go to my bank account. I don't have the payment. So I check my email. I have an email from Zelle saying that there's an error processing an incoming payment for $400. I'm like, oh shit, right? And I've never received Zelle on this particular account because it's a new account. So it tells me in the email, it's telling me that I need to like process a transaction back to this person before it's going to fund my account. And I'm like, that's weird, right? But okay. Now keep in mind, one of the many jobs I have is a bookkeeper. Okay. I pay people through Zelle. I pay people through Venmo. I've used these, like, I'm not an idiot when it comes to banking. You know what I mean? But I'm like, this seems odd. So I go back to the messenger thing and I go, hey, I got an email from Zelle. I'm like, but something seems odd about it. And she's like, yeah, basically. And I read it and it's basically saying that she has to send me another $500 because it's marked as a business account. And a business account transaction can only be $900. And then she's like, can I trust you to send me back the $500 because it's a $400 item, right? And I'm like, yeah, of course. But something about this still doesn't seem right. So I get another email from Zelle saying that she did that and that neither of these amounts are coming into my account until I send her back the $500. And I'm like, So I start digging around a little bit, right? And you know how like at the top when you get an email, it says Zelle. First of all, it just says Zelle payments, which is odd. Okay. But you can click on who it says it's from and it will tell you the actual email address, right? So I click on it and it says like Zelle payments 4912@gmail.com. And I'm like, get the F out of here, dude. Get out of here. So I go back to the messenger. Now I actually I'm going to read you the conversation because this is so funny to me. I think this is hilarious. Here we go. So I said, it says I need your Zelle details to send the money back. I haven't received the funds, but it says once I do the 500, it'll go back to you. So I have to send her 500. So then she says, because the email I received from Zelle says you have to send the 500 first and email them back with a clear proof that you sent me back the 500, like a screenshot, so they can credit your account, the 900 immediately. I think I need to send you my Zelle details so you can refund the 500 back to your account. Here's my information. Then she gives me her email address and says her name, which is not the name of the person who's messaging me. So second red flag. Let me know once you send it, she goes. I said, this seems odd. The email isn't from Zelle. It's from a Gmail account. She goes, now I'm like, let me play this game a little while, right? She goes, yes, it's online business Zelle. There's no fucking such thing. Zelle is Zelle, guys, okay? Don't let this shit happen to you. So I said, I've never had an issue like this. To which she responds, so we just have to follow the instructions to make this work, okay? Now, that's what you say when you're a criminal. By the way, you say, we just have to follow the instructions to make this work, okay? That's some criminal shit. All right. So then I respond with, it shouldn't be business. Because she's saying this happened because she wrote business in the memo. Why would you write business in the memo? Why would you not write headboard or fucking bed frame or tufted fucking grommeted fuckery? Why are you writing business? Anything else would have been more appropriate. She goes, I'm a business owner with Zelle. I hope you understand. To which I respond, no, I don't understand. I use Zelle for business all the time, and I've never heard of that issue. Also, your Facebook profile says your name is Rose, and your Zelle is under April, which isn't a business name. She goes, yes, it's a business name. It's a joint account. I said, I'm sorry, but I have no notification from Zelle or my bank, which is not correct, or Zelle business. She goes, what do you mean? I said, the email is not from Zelle. It's a Gmail account. She says this. This is my favorite part of the entire conversation. I think I need to report this to the FBI now. And now is in all caps. So I write back, same here. And I say, once my bank responds that they have an alert with the funds pending, I'm happy to move forward. But right now, this seems like fraud. She goes, okay. So then I Google it a little bit and it's like Zelle fraud, all this shit. Now, by the way, no funds have been exchanged with anybody. So we're still good. Now I'm just having a good time. Okay. So this is what I said. No, first I go back in, I report her account through Facebook. I do all of that. so that she doesn't ghost me and I can't find her. And then I say this: I confirm Zelle will never send an email using a Gmail account. So I've reported you for fraud. Shame on you. And then I get a notification at the bottom that now says, this person is unavailable on Messenger. So I didn't sell my headboard. I was very excited that I was going to sell it right away. It didn't sell. And don't get had. You know what I'm saying? Like, be aware of shit like that. Like, I was like, at first all like, oh yeah, totally. And then I was like, wait, Janine, hang on a sec. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, you know better. And I started digging around and I was like, this doesn't seem right. Something doesn't seem right, or it seems too good to be true, or someone's like willing to she was also like first person on the planet who's ever written me and not been like, will you take $350? Will you do blah, blah? Like, ready to just pay what I asked. Okay. That was actually the first red flag. So that was yesterday. So my week started with this awesome effing house that I just don't know when I can move into. And I'm trying to stay calm. My boss even said, he's like, let me tell you something. You could easily drive yourself crazy about signing a lease. Can you just be excited? You got the house. Calm down. It's going to take some time. It's okay. And I'm like, okay. But I just want everything yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have patience. I have a shiny forehead, that I have, but I don't have patience. Anyway, so that was Monday. Started with the house. The week ended with almost getting, what was the word I'm looking for? Almost getting ripped off. Yeah, ripped off. And then today was a spa day, which is really, really good. And I think like that pretty much sums it up. What else happened? I exercised. I told you guys that. It was very intense. It was a 15-minute Pilates workout. I have this thing on my phone. It tells me, it's pretty cool because it will tell me now that I've actually like kept up with it and how many days I've done and my like my health score, which is very low, obviously. Like, compared to what? I don't fucking know. But that was good. And I want to try to actually do that like 5 days a week. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, good. And it marks these little dots on the app that show you how many days you work out. So you're like, oh, okay, good. This is cool, you know? What else has happened this week? Oh, so when I went to the spa today, the girl who gave me the facial at the end, which this has happened to me before, they'll suggest some products that they used on you that they think that you could benefit from. Now, we all know my face routine is just now becoming a thing. I was doing nothing. And oh my God, I totally forgot something else that happened this week. I have to tell you guys too. But anyway, okay. So I go up to the front and she's like, there's some products that, you know, so-and-so suggested. Did you want to check those out? And I was like, sure. Yeah, I'll check them out. What has she got? And she told me, the girl was like, look, there's 3 things I suggested for you. If you get none of them, or if you can only afford one or whatever she's saying to me, I don't know. She's like, just get the, it's like an exfoliator. She's like, because you have a lot of congestion in your nose. Let me explain to her what congestion means. When an esthetician says the word congestion, it means you have fucking blackheads, okay? It's a nice professional way of saying you have clogged pores, asshole. Like, there's no, again, my nose is not stuffed, okay? She's like, it's just very congested in your T-zone. Like, you fucking wash your face is what she's telling me. So I'm like, okay. So I go up to the front and the woman shows me a cleanser, which is the size of fucking body wash, by the way. I'm not even joking. I should have brought it over here. The cleanser's like a good 7 inches tall. The exfoliating stuff, which is in a tiny, tiny bottle. And and a cream, like just a regular moisturizer. So I said, and I asked the lady, how often should I use the exfoliator if I just go if I really empty my pocketbook out and buy it? And she goes, just like, you could probably do it like 3 times a week at night before bed. I'm like, okay, thanks. So I go up to the front and I'm like, okay, what is this? And I'm looking at these 3 things and the girl who's taking care of me is not a salesperson. Like, she's like, I mean, you probably do you even need to see the stuff that she suggested? I was like, well, yeah, I'd like to see it. What? So she brings it up. I look at it and she goes, yeah, I don't know if you want any of those things. If not, it's fine. I'm like, is this woman what is happening? So I look and this is how, like, I'm like, I don't need whatever. Okay, fine. So I bought all three, guys, is the point. The point of the story is I bought all three. I'm a very easy sell. Like you don't need to like convince me. I'm like, clearly, because this woman was like doing everything in her power for me not to buy these items. And I was like, I'll take all of them. Thank you. So I have a body wash sized fucking vat of facial cleanser and a tiny little dropper sized bottle of fucking decongestant. Okay. I did something else this week and I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it since my last episode. So I work in Beverly Hills, as you guys know, and I'm surrounded by some of the world's top doctors in all fields, but I would say like the ones that obviously were probably visited for the most are, dermatologists, right? Skin doctors, dentists, plastic surgeons, obviously. And I mean, there's other regular medical doctors and stuff, but that's the top three I think are that. And there is a cosmetic surgeon who works across the street from my office. He's fucking fantastic. He actually did something on my mom, which she'll talk about when she is on, I am sure. She's very proud of it. But he's also a very nice doctor and he's very good at what he does. I don't have any plastic surgery other than the Botox situation that we talked about. But I wanted to talk to him because several years ago, I went to my regular medical doctor for like a physical and he was, looking at my, my eyes with the light and my nose. And he says, you have a deviated septum, right? And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, no one ever told you that? I was like, no, but that's so crazy because I have always, not something I ever talk about or mention, but I've always had trouble on my left nostril. And if you look, you shouldn't look because now it's all I see. One of my nostrils is like definitely a different size than the other. And that's what that is when you have a deviated septum. And I've never had a problem with my nose, like cosmetically. Like, I don't think it could be a tiny bit smaller, maybe like on my profile, but I don't care. Like, I'm not like about that. Right. But the nostril thing's been a problem. And anytime I'm sick, it's a nightmare. Right. So he told me this a couple years ago. I just was like, okay, whatever. What am I going to do? I had kids. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not going to get a fucking nose job. And then this guy across the street, I was like, I want to talk to you about this because I don't know what it entails. I don't know, like, what does that mean? And also like downtime, and do I have two black eyes? Like, what would happen if I did this? And how much does this even cost? Right. So I had a consultation for my fucking nose the other day and it was fascinating. It's actually his partner. So it's him and his partner, this guy, because this guy is like great at like, pretty much neck down stuff. And the partner is all like very good at faces, right? Anything with your face. So I said, does he do stuff like that? I'm like, oh yeah, no. And bring like your health insurance because like sometimes like your health insurance will cover this like a nose job if it's something for something like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I bring it. Of course it doesn't cover shit. And he's looking at my nose and it was so crazy. So he basically he shuts my one side, my right side, which I'm doing now. And he goes, breathe. And I go, and I'm like, okay. And then he does the same thing, but he like lifts up my sinus and he goes, breathe now. And I'm like, and it's totally open. And I'm like, oh my God, what is that? So he explains to me that because of the deviated septum, there's a secondary problem that happens, which I also have, where your sinus is like the pocket of it, like goes in a direction, like the curvature of it or something. I don't know. It's all very technical, but the point is that it's not right and he can make it right. Right. So he takes a picture of my face and he puts it on the computer and he's able to like make it look like what he would do and what the nose would look like after. And not very different because I also said, I was like, I don't want it to be where it doesn't look like my nose after. This is for this thing I want to fix inside, And so it was fascinating. And he was very thorough and he was so kind. And I was like, this is wonderful. And it is so expensive. I had no idea. I thought that nose stuff was like, I don't know, a couple $1,000s or like, I thought it was less than like getting your boobs done, which that I know how much that is because I know so many people have done it, but it's not actually. And they gave me a pretty good discount because of where I work and that they know me, but I was like, holy shit, dude. So then I was like, thank you very much. And then this house thing happened. We found out about this was like Days later, we find out we're getting this house. And I was like, okay, well, can't do that right now. So maybe later we'll put a pin in it and really actually decongest my nose for real. But yeah, and the downtime's pretty crazy because it's like you could get bruising. He said not everybody does, but if you do, you go back like a week later. So I'd probably be home for a week. You go, it's a 4-hour surgery, by the way, which I was like, wow, that's kind of long. You wake up with like a splint on your nose. And a week later, you come back in, he removes that. If there's bruising, he can laser it to break it up so that you don't have bruises. And then you get these little like paper mache type, well, it's not paper mache. They're like more like a silicone, I don't know what they are. But anyway, like molds for your nose that you have to put on your nose for a couple of weeks, I think. It's pretty bananas. And I was like, well, wait, can I wear like a mask over it? Like, like when we were wearing for COVID? He's like, yeah, you can. I was like, okay, well, that'll be good. Yeah, I don't know. That's something that's definitely like future thing. I definitely have to do a podcast with the nose cast on, but nothing anytime soon. But definitely something I want to do because as the only reason I even went for the consult when I found out about this years ago is because for the past like 3 months, it's been so annoying that I'm like, I need somebody to look at this and tell me what the F, So anyway, that was that. That was part of this week. There's a lot happened this week. Oh my God. My mom told me the funniest story. So she's like, Jay, I got to tell you what happened. I'm like, please do. Basically, so one of my mom's favorite stores to shop at is Ross. And she goes to Ross and this is such a great story. She has her clip-in hair piece in. So my mom buys these hair pieces usually on Amazon. It's very high end. And it's a clip of, now her natural hair is like really pretty gray, like a silvery, whatever. It's nice gray. But she'll buy these, she has this little poof of a bun on the top of her head of her real hair. It's a clip. And from the clip is like a weave of like ombre black to gray to white fucking fishtail braids, whatever. She has so many options, right? And of course she's wearing one because she usually wears one. And she goes to Ross, right? And so she goes to Ross and she's shopping and she finds this very cute jean jacket. And so she takes the jean jacket and she tries it on. And I don't know if at that moment she's going, I'm going to buy this jacket or not. I have no idea. But I do know that she likes the jacket and she goes to take it off. She finds that she can't take the jacket off. And the reason why she can't take the jacket off is because the weave is stuck inside the security tag of the jacket. Okay. So now she proceeds to go into the fitting room to try to remove the jacket fitfully, but in private. Like she's having a fit, right? She's like trying to take it off and she's freaking out and she's sweating and she can't. And I guarantee you what's happening is the more she's trying, the more the weave is just wrapping itself around the fucking security tag and it's just getting worse and worse and worse, right? So then she goes, oh my God, I have a sewing kit in my bag. Of course she does. So in the sewing kit is a little tiny pair of scissors. So she's like, I'm going to take the scissors out. I'm going to cut the fucking weave off the security tag of the jacket. This is Ross, guys, fitting room Ross. So she realizes that the scissors are not in the sewing kit. She's like, son of a bitch. She can't get the fucking the hair out of the jacket. So now I think the hair piece is completely off the head. The jacket's in her hand, and now she's like sitting there trying to figure it out, and it's not coming apart. She's sweating. She goes to the lady. I don't know why I'm laughing. This is so insane. And she's like, I need scissors, right? My fucking hair got caught in your security tag. Also, when my mom gets upset at a store, anyone who works at that store is to blame. These people have nothing to do with any of this. They're all immediately assholes, which is horrible, but true. Okay. So she gets the scissors from the lady. She cuts the hair off, and all of a sudden, red ink explodes all over the jacket out of the security tag. It's I can't. So the lady says to her, not knowing who she's dealing with, the poor fucking employee who doesn't have any idea what's about to come, turns to my mother and goes, you pushed the security tag too many times, too hard. And my mom goes, fuck you, okay? And so she's so upset. I can't. It just makes me laugh so hard that she gets so fucking upset. So I can't even imagine this. Like, there's red ink all over the jacket. There's the fucking weave, and I just can't. So I can't. So she goes, as she's telling me the story, she goes, but then they give me 50% off the jacket. So she buys the jacket. Because I go, yeah, they must have you had to buy it. It's like, you break it, you bought it. She buys the coat, 50% off. I'm like, oh my God. I hang up the phone with her. 12 minutes later, I get a text message. Look, Jay, all the ink came out. I'm so excited. And there's a picture of this new jean jacket hanging on the fucking door that she just cleaned. I'm like, I cannot. This woman, I'm going to have her wear the jean jacket when she comes on. She has to wear the Ross ink jacket. So there's not a stain in sight. You'd never know what happened. Oh my God, that was hilarious. That was one of the funniest stories this week. I cannot even handle it. She's so fucking funny. Oh my God. So I told her earlier, I was like, you need to come over, like, for real, because everyone needs to see you on this. I was just looking to make sure that she did get all the stains out, and she did. I'm going to have her wear it on the show. She needs to come. I would love her to come next week's episode. I don't know if I could get her to come this late, but I'm going to try to figure it out because that would be really cool. And then the following week is going to be very exciting because my best bud in the whole world is coming on, Lindsay. And I'm sure we will fill an hour easily with stories of our friendship and our lives. And yeah, I'm really excited. So I hope that you guys enjoy the Super Bowl, or enjoyed the Super Bowl if you're watching this after Sunday. I hope that, I watch it for the commercials and for halftime, really. That's my thing. And I will see you guys next week. I love you guys. This was great. Thank you so much. And I will see you soon. Bye.